Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. First question from me. Alex, a tough one out there today, but a great fight. Can you just give us your thoughts on the match and your performance today?
Um, it was a tough one, like you said. I think it's only normal that with a loss comes disappointment and being upset. But then again, it's another opportunity for me to take and learn and grow as a player. And yeah.
Great. Questions in English, please. Ben?
Hi, Ben Rothenberg from Bounces. The crowd that you had today, I don't know if you expected that or when you saw the schedule, if you realized that Court 6 would be not enough for your crowd, but it was like the story of today at the tournament, how many people were there, how many more people wanted to see you who came and couldn't get seats. What did that feel like for you just as a player to see how much support you had and how much excitement you had from so many thousands of people who came to the Australian Open for you today?
Yeah, it was so heartwarming, and I think that's one of the things that makes a loss like today a little bit harder is that I know a lot of people were rooting for me, but then again, Alicia played really well. And, I just hope that this support continues with the losses along with the wins. I think that would really touch me. But then again, just the fact that everyone came out and really squeezed into that cozy court, I really appreciate it. I felt so loved even when I was 5-2 down in the third, still felt the love. So I'm really appreciative and super thankful. Yeah.
Having such a big crowd for you, does that help you during the match, or does that put more pressure on you? And is it something you still need to learn to deal with?
Yeah, it's a process to take it all in. I think this week was definitely, there were elements that were a bit overwhelming, especially during my practices. I didn't expect that many people to be there. So it's a learning process like everything. Losses are is part of the learning process. The trainings are part of a learning process. So I'm just trying to take it in. I'm still young, 20, so learning how to deal with all of this attention, but then at the same time being grateful. Yeah.
Yeah, Alex, I just wanted to ask what it's been like in the off season with the increased amount of attention you've gotten. What kind of opportunities have you had to do, things like that, just compared to this time last year, perhaps?
That's a good question. In the off season, not much changed. I would say in terms of, I think because off season in the end is training, so the training was hard. The training was intense. One highlight of the off season though was getting to compete in the SEA Games, and I had so much fun with my teammates, and it was really kind of a safe space for me to be more extroverted and really enjoy myself. Yeah.
Next English question, please. So right here.
It was hard for me to see, but I believe you walk out on the court with the headphones on. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do you do that to just kind of block out all that's going on around you so that you can get to the court a bit more focused, and then once you take the headphones off and you're on court, then you can absorb the atmosphere?
Yes, I think it definitely helps. I listen to a lot of music, not just for tennis purposes. I just listen to a lot of music in general, and it can get quite loud, especially when you're walking into a court like that. You can really snuggle with some people over there, and they start to talk to you, but sometimes they don't understand that you're in the zone. So I feel like headphones kind of gives that message. Yeah.
Next question, please, Ben.
Have you had any conversations with tournament organizers about your popularity here? Do they say oh wow, sorry, next time we'll have to put you on a huge stadium? We didn't know, because it seemed like there was a disconnect here between the demand and the supply.
Well, I don't know. I have no say in the courts that I am put on. I'm just here to do my thing. Whatever court they put me on, I go compete, and that's what I did today.
They didn't talk to you. They didn't say wow, you were selling.
I
5,000 tickets
didn't
today.
hear
Yeah.
any comments like that. Yeah.
Question back. Hi, Alex. How do you balance, staying locked into tactics while soaking in what this means for, Filipino Filipino tennis in general, and especially with the vocal support of the crowd today? And what learnings would you take on for tomorrow's doubles match?
Sorry, I'm gonna have to ask you to repeat the question. That was a great question.
Yeah.
So,
So,
sorry,
I
I'm
was
also kind of
so-
like.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
yeah, go ahead.
like, how do you balance sort of staying locked into tactics? Obviously, you mentioned earlier about the headphones, just the focus side, but also like soaking in this moment on what it means for Filipino tennis actually being in the world stage and with the visible and vocal support of the community. And obviously, with the doubles match tomorrow, what sort of learnings would you take on from today to put onto sort of like a game plan for tomorrow's match?
I'm big on compartmentalizing, so I think there's a time for each of those things. I think walking into the court and before or during the match is not the time for you to look at the quote unquote big picture. So I've done so many matches in my life, and although it's different now because it's a Grand Slam, it's my first main draw in Australia. It is just another match, and I have to treat it as so. So I have certain routines that I do, warm-ups when I'm there. It's such a competitive mindset that you're not thinking about what this does for the Philippines. You're thinking about what do I need to do in the next point. And then, of course, there are moments after the match when you walk off and you realize that there's so many people and they give so much love, and then you reflect on it, and then it helps cushion the loss, I guess. Depends how you look at it. But then, or certain moments when I'm with my family and we talk about kind of how much we've grown and the journey leading up to this. Those are types of moments that you can look back and say, wow, there's a lot of people today. And I guess the learning for doubles is just, it's hard to take the learnings from singles and go to doubles, but then I feel like there were a couple things I could work on today that maybe tomorrow will be improved on. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Obviously, you're still sort of doing your first time on the full level tour. But do you have a sense yet of sort of where the cities are, where the biggest Filipino crowds have been so far, and do you know where to expect them, I guess, as you go from each tournament to the next one? What are some of the biggest crowds you've had so far?
This was definitely one of the bigger Filipino turnouts. New York was huge. It was tough because it also depends what court you're on, that you feel the noise and things. I would say the top two so far have been Melbourne and New York. Yeah.
And then just globally, do you have a sense of, I'm not trying to give you an ego here, but like if you look at the numbers on YouTube for like the pre-tournament press conferences, how much people watch them? Yours is at like 170,000.
Okay.
And then like everyone else is like under 40,000, like Djokovic, Alcaraz,
Oh,
Sabalenka.
okay.
Like you're like in a league of your own in the numbers.
would say
And
so.
I'm just wondering if you have any sense of like sort of how notable and how surprising and big, it's been. There's like numbers that can prove this. It's not just sort of opinion. It's like the turnout for you has been.
Yeah, I guess
huge.
I haven't really thought about it. I haven't seen those numbers. So, then again, like I said in the last press conference, taking everything with a spoonful of gratitude. I am nowhere near the leagues of course, the greats, Djokovic, and then now Sabalenka and Alcaraz and all of these people. I have so much respect for them, and I think everyone does. But yeah, I like to think that I have a following for a reason. And I like to think that the impact that I've had and the platform that I've built has a positive effect on a certain demographic and my demographic. So I guess this is one of the moments that I can reflect on what this means for Philippine tennis. I'm the only Filipina in the draw this year. I'm the only Filipina that's ever been in the draw, I think. So there are positives to take away, and like I said, so much gratitude and super thankful. Yeah.
Wide World of Sports is your home of the Australian Open. From highlights of the best players, every magic Aussie moment, and the best expert analysis.
We'll have every nail-biting, heartwarming and edge-of-your-seat point covered. Subscribing to Wide World of Sports on YouTube is a must for any tennis fan.